welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. Arker Kyaw got the latest report on President Xi pledges to put COVID-19 under control in Wuhan. Willinson has the story on Matriculation Exam Commenced from the 11th of March. Arker Kyaw once again has the full story on governments worldwide are urged to beef up the virus battle. Thaw got the latest report on COVID-19 outbreak and Myanmar's economy still struggling to find solution. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi attended an emergency meeting on the 2019 novel coronavirus at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Thursday and reiterated that the meeting was to discuss processes and action plans to ease the long-term repercussions of COVID-19 on the citizens of Myanmar. She said WHO has declared COVID-19 a pandemic on the 11th of March, and this calls for Myanmar to strengthen and speed up its plans to respond to the virus, which include reducing long-term negative consequences as a result of the virus, increasing effectiveness, health regulations to prevent its spread, reducing negative effects on the national economy, other sectors and potential losses, and disseminating health precautions and guidelines to the general public. The meeting also discussed speeding up the administration of prevention and response to the spread of COVID-19 to a certain time period, elevating the status of the Central Committee to better facilitate cooperation between ministries, reassessing government-led public meetings and ceremonies in light of the fact that COVID-19 is spread easily through mass public gatherings, having visitors to certain pagodas be screened for high temperatures, effectively quarantining and monitoring travelers from foreign nations where the virus has a high outbreak upon arriving in Myanmar. Ensuring state regional governments are able to preemptively highlight areas requiring quarantine measures, increasing public participation in health protection processes through the collaboration of the Ministry of Information and Ministry of Health and Sports, having relevant departments monitor for rumors aiming to misinform and agitate the public, and countering with authentic news promptly, alleviating repercussions caused by the virus on trade and the national economy, swiftly finding solutions for the state to assist and minimize losses incurred by employers and employees of factories and workshops that have to close down, ensuring Myanmar missions in China are well equipped to aid Myanmar workers in China facing difficulties due to factories closing down, and issuing directives and requests to the public from the union government concerning COVID-19. In regard with surveillance and investigation of COVID-19 that is spreading around the world, the Ministry of Health and Sports is closely monitoring and conducting surveillance at international gateways, at the public hospitals, community-based monitoring, and private healthcare facilities. In doing so, 14 new persons under investigation have been found from 11th to the 12th of March, and they are in quarantines at the respective hospitals. Their specimens will be sent to National Health Laboratory Yangon for the laboratory tests. According to the laboratory test of NHL Yangon, out of the patients who are under investigation at the respective hospitals, the results of 4 patients have no coronavirus disease. The laboratory result of 8 people from South Oglaba Women and Children Hospital and 1 from Shui Bendal Station Hospital in Outland Township of Magway Region who are in hospital quarantine have found with no coronavirus disease. Up to 6 p.m. of 12th of March, 16 patients are under surveillance at the respective hospitals. Although there is no laboratory confirmed case of COVID-19 as of the 12th of March in Myanmar, the ministry is conducting round-the-clock surveillance in upward momentum. And I believe it's time now for our first report. President Xi vowed on Tuesday to resolutely fight for a victory in the war against the novel coronavirus disease, during his inspection in the outbreak epicenter Wuhan. This report covers President Xi's visit to Wuhan, suspension of temporary hospitals, and the outbreak update across the globe. Arker Kyaw has more.
On Tuesday, Chinese President Xi Jinping visited central China's Wuhan city, ground zero for the coronavirus outbreak in the country. Xi vowed on Tuesday to resolutely fight for a victory in the war against the novel coronavirus disease COVID-19 during his inspection in the outbreak epicenter. Xi, also General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, called for firm, solid, and meticulous prevention and control efforts to defend Hubei and Wuhan. After hard work, the situation in Wuhan has shown positive changes with important progress, but the prevention and control task remains arduous. China Radio International reporter Wang Yue, who is currently in Wuhan, gives details on the visit of the Chinese President Xi Jinping to Wuhan.
Chinese President Xi Jinping on Tuesday went straight to Huashanshan Hospital after arriving in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. He learned about the hospital's operations, treatment of patients, protection for medical workers, and scientific research at this 1,000-bed makeshift hospital, which was built from scratch in just 10 days to specially treat COVID-19 patients. He also visited patients who are being treated there and sent regards to medical workers who have been fighting the epidemic on the front line day and night, saying that the medical workers are the most beautiful angels and messengers of light and hope, and they deserve the highest commendations.
President Xi's visit is hugely reassuring and suggests Chinese leadership's confidence that the coronavirus situation has been largely stabilized in the country, including in its worst hit city, and that life will be gradually going back to normal. It also indicates the tremendous importance of Chinese leaders attached to the epidemic, and it's intended to give a major boost to the morale of people working on the front line, as well as show support to local people bearing the brunt of the consequences. Wuhan also suspends temporary hospitals as patient numbers continue to drop. Huan Yue gives details.
The last two public venue-converted temporary hospitals in Wuhan, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, officially suspended operation on Tuesday, marking the closure of all the 14 temporary hospitals in the city. An overwhelming majority of the patients have recovered and were discharged, while the rest were transferred to designated hospitals. Since receiving the first batch of patients on February the 5th, the temporary medical facilities have treated more than 12,000 patients.
Since the outbreak began at the end of December, more than 110,000 COVID-19 cases have been reported around the world and more than 4,000 deaths. Mortality is highest among people who are over 80 years old and among people with previous medical conditions such as cardiovascular diseases, chronic respiratory diseases, cancer, and diabetes. Italy's population is the second oldest in the world after Japan, and at the moment, it is the worst affected country outside China. In the country, now under lockdown, 58% of the total victims have been over 80 years old and 31% in their 70s. Wang Yue continued to give update on the confirmed cases.
A total of 13 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed in central China's Hubei province on Tuesday, and 22 new deaths were reported. All of the newly confirmed cases came from the provincial capital Wuhan. 19 out of the 22 deaths were also in Wuhan. On the same day, 1,471 patients were discharged from hospitals in the province after full recovery. The city of Wuhan is still very cautious, although the number of new confirmed cases have dropped below 20, but people here can already see the light of hope.
This is Arker Kyaw reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on President Xi pledges to put COVID-19 under control in Wuhan. The academic year of 2019 and 2020 matriculation exam was commenced on the 11th of March across the country, where according to the data released by the Ministry of Education, more than 970,000 students took part in the examination. According to the report, nowadays, the parents are no longer that serious about how their children in the examinations, but they just want their children to write the examination without pressure. Willinson will tell us the full story.
One of the most important examinations for the students here in Myanmar is matriculation, which is the gateway to further educational degree. If a student is not able to pass this matriculation examination, then the student cannot go for further study. Therefore, more than 10 years of student life will be decided by this matriculation, whether or not the student can go for further study. For the academic year of 2019-2020, the matriculation is scheduled to commence from 11th to 20th of March, and according to the statement released by the Ministry of Education, 970,000 students are taking part in these examinations across the country. As this is one of the most important examinations for the students, the parents are also very much aware that this examination could decide the future of their children. Therefore, the students are under constant care of their parents as well, dropping them to their respective schools, waiting for them outside the schools from morning till the students are done. Some even recite religious sacred writings in the hope of assisting their children with divine intervention. Wu Suanyi is one of those parents whose students is writing this matriculation, and he spoke to MI Radio on how he has been helping his child during this examination, and he said,
As a father, I make sure that my kid is in a good health condition during this examination period. I don't want my kid to go through some of the common health problems, such as headache. For that, as the examination was getting closer and closer, I made sure that my kid got enough sleep. The same goes for food as well, where I made sure that I would not let my kid eat heavy food, which might cause gastric and other issues. But for me, I make sure that my kid has enough rest time.
According to some of the parents, nowadays parents are not that forceful to put pressure on their children to score high in examination, but understand that putting pressure on the children can harm their ability to learn, and it can also become a hindrance to their talents. Wu Suanyi also spoke to MI Radio on this subject and said,
For me personally, I don't like putting pressure on the children. I also come to learn that many parents started to understand how harmful it is to put pressure to the children on what the parents want them to become, because it only worsens the children's lives instead of making them progress. But what happens now is the students have more options than what we used to have back then in our schooling time. It is not that only one particular institute can make the students earn well, but if they excel in every field they follow, they can be successful as well.
Another common mistake the students make during this examination, mostly on their first day, is they head to the wrong location. Most of the students don't write examination in their own schools, but in another schools due to lack of space or resources. For some of the students who are not familiar with the locations, usually they go to the wrong school. It also happened on the first day at Basic Education High School 2 of Lata, when a student mistakenly came to the school. But with the help of traffic police, the student was dropped to the right school. Sultan U is a traffic police who was in charge of helping the students, also spoke to MI Radio and said,
We are here ready to assist the students in case of emergency. Sometimes the students go to the wrong school, sometimes they forget their student's card, and some with health issue. For such case, we are always here to help the students. We have 2 bikes and 2 vehicles for any emergency case.
Uwana Sheng is also a member of Myanmar Red Cross Society who set up a small booth with medical staff for any emergency case. Also spoke to MI Radio and said,
In case if anything happens to the students, for the emergency treatment, we have medical assistants. As we are first-hand treatment team, we are here ready for any emergency case.
This is Willinson for MI Radio.
That's the report on the matriculation exam commenced from the 11th of March. Moving on to the third report. UN chief on Wednesday urged world governments to urgently beef up the response to the novel coronavirus. The pandemic has spread across China and abroad with confirmed cases exceeding 118,000 globally. MI Radio reached out to Ma Za-Chi-Ne-Win from China Media Group CRI Myanmar Department to better understand China's cooperation with international community and the update on the outbreak. Arker Kyaw has details.
The World Health Organization WHO has labeled the coronavirus outbreak pandemic. UN Chief Antonio Guterres on Wednesday urged the world governments to urgently beef up their response to the novel coronavirus if they are to stand a chance of stemming its spread. Cooperation amongst the countries is of utmost importance to fight off the pandemic, which has spread across China and abroad, with confirmed cases exceeding 118,000 globally. For more on the international cooperation among the countries in the virus fight, Ma Za-Chi-Ne-Win from China Media Group of CRI Myanmar Department explained.
လက်ရှိတရုတ်နိုင်ငံရဲ့နိုင်ငံတကာနဲ့ပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်မှုတွေကိုပြောရမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့တရုတ်ပြည်ကဒီ COVID-19 ကိုကူးစက်ရောဂါထိန်းချုပ်နေတဲ့တစ်ချိန်တည်းမှာဒီနိုင်ငံတကာနဲ့ပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်မှုတွေကိုလည်းတွန်းအားပေးနေတာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်။အထူးသဖြင့်ကတော့တရုတ်အစိုးရနဲ့ဒီ WHO ကသုတေသနအဖွဲ့တွေပူးပေါင်းပြီးတော့သုတေသနပြုလုပ်နေတယ်။အကာအကွယ်ဆေးတွေထုတ်လုပ်ဖို့လည်းပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်နေတာကိုတွေ့ရပါတယ်ရှင်။နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီတရုတ်နိုင်ငံကအခုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကမ္ဘာ့ကျန်းမာရေးအဖွဲ့နောက်ဥရောပသမဂ္ဂတို့နောက်အာဖရိကသမဂ္ဂနောက်ကာရဘီယန်နိုင်ငံအဖွဲ့တွေအာဆီယံအဖွဲ့တွေအပြင်ပေါ့နော်ဒီတောင်ကိုရီးယားတို့အီရန်တို့ဒီကုသရောဂါပြင်းထန်တဲ့နိုင်ငံတွေနောက်ပြီးတော့ကျန်းမာရေးစနစ်အားနည်းတဲ့နိုင်ငံတွေနဲ့ဒီကုသရောဂါတိုက်ဖျက်ရေးဆိုင်ရာဒီပညာကုလူဖလှယ်မှုတွေကိုလည်းတည်ထောင်ထားပြီးလို့လည်းသိရတယ်
The COVID-19 outbreak was first reported in the city of Wuhan, which is central China's Hubei province, in December 2019. Experts have attributed to the outbreak to a novel coronavirus that has since spread across China and abroad, with confirmed cases updated to be exceeding 118,000 globally. In China, 80,980 confirmed cases, with 3,173 deaths were reported and 62,887 recovery cases. Outside of China, 37,373 confirmed cases with over 1,130 deaths were reported. Iran's total number of cases has now reached 9,000. As many as 354 people have died and 2,959 patients have recovered. Italy has expanded its lockdown to the whole country, with all public gatherings cancelled. It is the worst-hit country outside of China, with 631 deaths and over 10,000 infected. The U.S. now has over 1,000 cases and 31 people have died. The Grand Princess cruise ship has docked in Oakland, California, and will disembark roughly 3,500 people.
နောက်ပြီးတော့အီရန်နိုင်ငံကိုလည်းတရုတ်ချက်ချင်းဒီအသင်းကနေပြီးတော့စေတနာဝန်ထမ်းစေအဖွဲ့ကိုဆေးလွတ်ပြီးတော့ဒီကိုဗစ်တိုက်ဖြတ်ရေးမှာပေါ့နော်ထောက်ပံ့ကူညီပေးတယ်ဒီအဖွဲ့တွေကဒီတရုတ်ပြည်ရဲ့ခုခံထိန်းချုပ်ရေးအတွေ့အကြုံဆိုင်ရာအချက်လက်တွေကိုသူတို့ကဘာသာပြန်ပြီးတော့အင်တာနက်ကနေတဆင့်ပေါ့နော်အီရန်ပြည်သူတွေကိုမိတ်ဆက်ပေးနေတယ်ဒီလိုထောက်ပံ့ကူညီမှုတွေကိုလည်းတွေ့ရပါတယ်ရှင်နောက်တရုတ်နိုင်ငံသားရေးဝန်ကြီးဌာနပြောရေးဆိုခွင့်ရှိသူဒီကင်စဖန်ကဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီလပေါ့နော်9ရက်နေ့ကသူသတင်းစာရှင်းလင်းပွဲပြုလုပ်တယ်အဲ့ဒီမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တောင်ကိုရီးယားအစိုးရနဲ့ပြည်သူတွေပေါ့နော်ဒီ COVID-19 ကူးစက်ရောဂါကိုတိုက်ဖြတ်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုပြီးတော့တရုတ်အစိုးရကနေပြီးတော့ N95 နှာခေါင်းစည်းရတဲ့သိန်းနောက်ဆေးဘက်သုံးနှာခေါင်းစည်းရတဲ့တန်းနောက်ဆေးဘက်ကာကွယ်အင်ဂျီရတဲ့တောင်းပေါ့နော်ဒီလိုမျိုးကူးစက်ရောဂါတိုက်ဖျက်ရေးပစ္စည်းတွေကိုကူညီထောက်ပံ့ပေးတဲ့အပြင်ဒီ COVID-19 ကူးစက်ရောဂါစစ်ဆေးဖို့အတွက်ဆိုပြီးတော့ဒီစမ်းသပ်ဆေး 9000ကိုလည်းပံ့ပိုးမယ်လို့ပြောကြတာကိုကျမတို့တွေ့ရပါတယ်ရှင်။နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီဖွံ့ဖြိုးဆဲနိုင်ငံတွေပေါ့နော် COVID-19 မှာရင်ဆိုင်မှုအတွက်ဆိုပြီးတော့ကမ္ဘာ့ကျန်းမာရေးအဖွဲ့ကို American dollar ပေါ့တန်း20လူတန်းမယ်လို့တရုတ်အစိုးရကဆုံးဖြတ်လိုက်တယ်လို့လည်းသိရပါတယ်။နောက်ဒီတရုတ်စေကူတာရေးဝန်ထမ်းတွေနဲ့နိုင်ငံတကာနဲ့ပူးပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်တဲ့နေရာမှာတရုတ်စေကူတာရေးဝန်ထမ်းတွေနဲ့နိုင်ငံတကာနဲ့ပေါ့ပူးပေါင်းဖလှယ်တာကိုလည်းတွေ့ရတယ်။အဲ့ဒါကတော့ဒီနယူးယောက်တို့အီတလီတို့ကဆရာဝန်တွေနဲ့တရုတ်နိုင်ငံကဆရာဝန်စေကူတာရေး COVID-19 အတွေ့အကြုံရှိတဲ့ပေါ့နော်ကုသရေးမှာအတွေ့အကြုံရှိတဲ့ဆရာဝန်တွေကဗီဒီယိုကောအစီအစဉ်တွေပေါ့ဗီဒီယိုနဲ့ခေါ်ပြီးတော့အတွေ့အကြုံတွေအချက်လက်တွေမျှဝေတာကိုလည်းကျမတို့တွေ့ရပါတယ်
Things are even more confusing across the Atlantic as the US authority is downplaying the harm of the COVID-19 in order to stabilize the economy, triggering widespread public objection. However, the Director General of the WHO stressed that proliferation can be slowed down as long as immediate and decisive actions are taken. This is Arker Kyaw reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
When the trade with China has been suspended, Myanmar local producers and merchants have been highly affected. The local producers and merchants are finding solutions to these economic effects triggered by the outbreak of COVID-19. However, since the outbreak is spreading in over 100 countries, it is still difficult to control the impact of economic decline.
Being the neighboring country, China is the important country for trading with Myanmar. Mostly, corn, rice, beans, fruits, and marine products are exported to China. However, because of the outbreak of COVID-19 in China, border trade between the two countries has been suspended.
In Myanmar, fruits and marine products exports have been mainly affected because of the block of export to China. This economic effect is quick and huge. Moreover, there are some indirect effects. For example, some garment factories are suspending operation. For other goods such as chili or onion, the export to China has been blocked, so the farmers are facing lesser income. The products can be dried, but the selling price becomes lower. Now, some countries, such as India, are still buying from us, like onions, but with much cheaper price. The medium traders, which have bought with a higher price from the local exporters, are also losing profit.
Consumption power ကြီးတော့ဦးတရုတ်ကဒီ consumption power ကျသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာ
China has the huge consumption power. The drop of consumption power in China leads to the decrease in Myanmar's marine products export. We are just exporting for the already contracted ones, but we have not yet received any new orders from China. Since we cannot stop the production of marine products, there will be many extra stocks if we cannot bring products into the market.
The goods which cannot be exported to China are sold locally with cheaper price. All the goods are dried to keep them longer. The merchants and producers are also trying to find the new market and to export more to the other countries such as India. However, the decrease of US dollars rate is also acting as an obstacle.
The US dollar value is also decreasing, so that even the goods are sold out. The farmers have a lesser income. For example, this is the season of beans production, and it should be good pricing for that. But the farmers are selling with much lower price. It is still difficult to reduce the loss because it has wide procedures. There should be balance between supply and demand. To negotiate the demand and supply, it would not be quite easy for both the government and the Ministry of Commerce. The merchants are also trying to find new market, but it's also not easy.
ဈေးကွက်ရှာဖို့ကြတော့အခုဒါယူရိုဘက်မှာတခါပြဿနာရှိပြန်အောင်
When we try to search for new market in Europe, There is also serious outbreak of COVID-19 in some countries such as Italy and even in the United States. So the market value of the whole world is likely to decrease. If the demand is dropped, the supply has to be provided with cheaper price. The producers who still have stock in hands will be affected by the decrease of monetary value.
Although the remaining stock in hands are sold locally, if the export, where the mainly income is earned from, is declined, the producer will not be able to invest in another next productions. This can lead to the decline of the whole market in the world. So the merchants and the producers are hoping to have effective measures ahead before the outbreak happens locally. This is Thaw reporting from MI Radio.
That's the report on COVID-19 outbreak in Myanmar's economy still struggling to find solution. In international news, Chinese President Xi Jinping said, quote, "For the Chinese government, people's safety and health always comes first," end quote. Let's watch the video to find out how President Xi has led China's battle against the coronavirus outbreak.
对中国人民来说啊，我们现在正在进行着一场严肃的斗争。中国政府呢是高度重视，因为政府的宗旨呢就是把人民的生命安全、身体健康放在最高位置上。
今天我们都是武汉人。如此接近。
在接下来我们的疫情战斗中啊，社区管理防控，这是一个基础。如果这方面搞得井井有条，那我们这一次啊，早日夺取胜利啊，我们是有把握的。你们都穿着防护服啊，戴着口罩，看不到你们的真实面貌。但是呢，你们在我心目中都是最可爱的人。 所以我在这里啊，代表党中央向你们啊表示诚挚的慰问，致以崇高的敬意。你们辛苦了。社区在这一次我们的保卫战、阻击战中啊，立下了大功。在此啊，我代表党中央向你们并通过你向我们全国的社区工作者和全国在抗疫一线的社区工作者致以诚挚的慰问和衷心的感谢。我相信啊，只要我们坚定信心，同舟共济，科学防治，精准施策，我们一定会战胜这一次的疫情。我们大家共同来坚定信心，一定会打赢这一场战役。武汉必胜，湖北必胜，全中国也必胜。
And that's all the reports and news we have for you today. And that's all with the news and report on Myanmar Today Review. Tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.